What is going on, everyone? BLN437, and today I'm going to go over Game 4 of the American League Championship Series between the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees. And wow, what a game. What a freaking game. But before I get into that, make sure to check out my previous videos. Those links will be down in the description below. But let's get into this crazy, wild game that was the Yankees versus the freaking Astros. I mean, the Astros just absolutely played a great game up until the 7th to 8th inning. I mean, after it got to the 7th and 8th inning, you started to see the weakness of this team, which is what I told you was the bullpen. I believe I had mentioned that in the first game. They had a weak bullpen. You know, they only really have Giles. And it showed tonight. It really did. Davinsky has not really been the guy he was in the regular season. I don't know why that is. I don't know what happened to Davinsky. Same thing with Betances. I guess he's just going through an issue right now. But he'll get it fixed, and he'll find a way to be better. I mean, guys like that, they get better over time. Maybe Betances is too late, but I don't think it's too late necessarily for Davinsky. But if you look at the way that the Yankees played today, the Yankees did not play a great game. Once again, the Yankees kind of handed the Astros this game, and the Astros had a chance to win this game. I mean, the Yankees made 3 defensive mistakes today. One of the main ones cost them a run. The one that I can at least remember that I thought made this game, over, which was in the 7th inning when Castro was lining up in the shift, and he just lost his balance and just couldn't get the throw to first base. I thought at that point, man, it was done. It was really, really done. And I mean, I just I don't know what else to say to that. That was just a crazy play. Castro needs to come up with that ball. But let's talk about the pitching lineup, or the pitching line for the Yankees here. Sonny Gray went 5 innings, 85 pitches, 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 of them earned due to the fact that there was an error, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Now, that's not bad for a guy who hasn't pitched in 12 days. We didn't know what to expect. Sonny Gray showed up and played a masterful game, a great game, and you just got to give him credit. He battled through, man. He just tried his best to give them what they can with 12 days rest, and not really seeing live, hitting an offense since that bad Game 1 performance in the American League Division Series, because I didn't think it was great, especially for a pitcher of his caliber. And he did struggle in the 6th inning. It was a catcher's interference and then a walk, and then he got into a 1-0 count, and they had to take him out of the game, which I thought was a weird thing to do there by Joe. But he ended up taking Sonny out in a 1-0 count after just only giving up 1 hit. And Dave Robertson walks the guy, strikes out the next guy, and then Yulieski Gurriel comes up, and he gets a huge bases-clearing double, but gets called out trying to extend a double into a triple, and that's a huge portion of the game to me. That's a huge key moment there. If Yulieski stays at second base and he keeps that inning going, God knows how many more runs the Astros could have scored, but that didn't happen. He got too aggressive, cost him there. D-Rob ends up getting the next out. Yankees are out of the inning, and Dave Robertson kind of looked a little off. So did Chad Green when he came into the game. He came in the 7th, and he went 2 innings, and he kind of looked a little off there for a bit. He didn't seem to have his best stuff. He just kind of grinded through the game, but he had a great 2 innings. And then obviously Chapman came in for the save, a quiet 9th inning for Aroldis Chapman, which is great. But I mean, the real hero here is, to me, Green. He battled through. He made sure that after that error happened in the 7th inning, that no more runs were going to score. It was a tough, unfortunate situation, but it ended up happening, obviously. And the Yankees now down 4-0. You thought, you know what? We'll see what happens. But before we do that, let's get to Lance McCullers, actually, because you know what? I don't think Lance McCullers is going to get a lot of love due to the fact that they kind of collapsed here in the later innings. Lance McCullers was amazing. He was electric. Lance McCullers Jr. and also not pitching in 9 days, not 12, but 9. But coming back from 2 injuries in the second half, going 6 innings. I mean, I don't know what A.J. Hinch was thinking there. I know he ended up giving up the home run in the bottom of the 7th inning to Judge, and that might have jump-started the Yankees offense. But I think what really jump-started the Yankees offense was once they saw that Davinsky was coming into the game after the home run that McCullers had given up. They were like, you know what, we got a shot to win this game. They don't have that great of a bullpen. If we can get, as many hits as we can through other guys, then there are other guys besides Johns, and we got a shot to win this game. And that's what the Yankees did. But you got to look at Davinsky. He came in, he didn't do his job. He only got 1 out, then he gave up 1 hit and a walk, and then gave up an earned run that was charged to him as well. And that was because Sanchez got a sacrifice fly. Then Mozgov came into the game, and he did his thing for a bit. He got 2 outs, but then he gave up 2 runs because he couldn't get out of the 8th inning. And Giles came into, I believe, a bases loaded jam with, or no, actually, it was runners on 2nd and 3rd. My bad. Runners on 2nd and 3rd in the 8th inning. And he had to come out, man, he had to get out of a tough jam. He really had to get out of a tough jam. And I mean, I don't know what else to say there, dude. He came into a tough situation, and he did the best that he could to stop it. But to me, I think before we get into the Giles and the Gregerson stuff, or really the Giles stuff, Lance McCullers being taken out after 81 pitches in the 6th inning, maybe that's a little questionable if you want to be an Astros fan here and you think about what AJ Hinch did there. But to me, you got to look at it this way: this guy is young, he's talented, he throws a mean breaking ball, mean hook, and when you're throwing curveballs, they tend to be more strenuous on the arm and kind of just more of the body because it's a harder pitch to throw. You're using most of your body to throw that ball, and especially more of your fingers, hands, arm motion to get that break. And I think he looked at it and was like, listen, this guy's had 2 injuries that, I mean, really haven't set him back career-wise, but, you know, it's there. He hasn't pitched in 9 days. He hasn't gone as many innings as he has the previous couple of years, and I don't want to risk losing my big guy here or a young, talented guy like Lance McCullers to injury just because I want to extend him for an extra maybe inning or so. I'm going to take the chance here with a 2-1 lead and up by 4-0 and go to my bullpen, and it hurt him. I mean, it honestly hurt him, but let's go back to Giles here for a second. Giles came into a tough jam. Frazier got a double. Then Headley got a weird single that he stretched into a double kind of because he fell down and he beat the play at second base, which, I mean, Altuve just made a bad play on that. He moved back towards the bag instead of moving more close to the bag to get the out. And at that point, I mean, the Yankees were feeling, they were rocking. They were down by 2. You knew something special was brewing. You knew something special was happening there. And the Yankees just kept, they just kept fighting. They didn't give in to this Astros team. They just kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And when we finally got to the runners on 2nd and 3rd after the Headley double, you looked at that and you saw just like you saw Gardner. He grounded out to 2nd, and Frazier was able to score, and Headley went to 3rd. That's just what you needed. Don't be the hero. Don't try to hit the home run. Don't try to strike out here. Just ground the ball to an infielder. It made the game 4-3. At that point, the Yankees had what they needed. They needed something like that. They needed a big, hit there now after 1 out, runner on 3rd base, and then Judge comes up with a huge double, ties the game 4-4. Then Gary Sanchez with runners on 3rd and 2nd after Gregorius had singled, and Judge went to 3rd because Judge had to stay when the ball was hit to left field because Correa almost had a chance to get that ball. He was able to go to 3rd. Gregorius had the single, and then Gregorius ended up doing a hit and run play in which Sanchez drove that fastball, that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, the other way. 4-6 Yankees at that point. They intentionally walked Greg Bird, and that was it for Ken Giles. That was the end of the night for Giles. They ended up bringing Gregerson in, and he was able to get the job done. But you look at that inning, you look at the way that the Yankees did it. They did it without the homer, and that's something that the Yankees are gonna have to try to start doing, especially against Keuchel, and especially against Verlander. You can't hope for a big home run against Keuchel or a big home run against Verlander. You got to get, a double, a single, maybe a ground ball to get the guys, from 2nd to 3rd. Home and to 3rd base. Then Judge hits the big double. Then Sanchez hits another double. And you're just driving in your runs that way. That's what the Yankees have to do. And that's how the Yankees are going to win this series. If they do win this series, that's going to be the main way how they win this series. They got to make sure that they don't rely too much on the homer ball and do more on just getting key hits and just driving the ball the other way and making sure that they get their type of hits. Now, if you want to talk about the guys that showed up, Aaron Judge. I've been saying this the whole time. When Aaron Judge shows up in this series, the Yankees are going to get going. And when I said this on a Cougs video, I wrote down in the comment section, and it's so funny. When Altuve makes a great play in the series, when Altuve gets a big hit, all the Astro fans will go into that video and start commenting, oh, this is why Altuve's the MVP. See, this is why Altuve's the MVP. I don't see any Astro fans or any Altuve fans going on that video right now after what Judge did, and I'm not trying to be arrogant or cocky or anything like that. I just think that it's so funny that we're so quick to, we're so quick as fans to just harp on another fan base when that guy doesn't perform the way that they do, and your guy performs the way that he does, and then be like, see, this is why. Judge deserves credit. He had a huge home run that started the Yankee offense, if you want to say that it did, rather than McCullers taking him out. Got the huge double to tie the game. And then Sanchez was able to drive those 2 runners in, and Judge and Gregorius, and the bullpen showed. The Yankees had a better bullpen. Yankees have an elite closer, or at least a good closer. I don't think he's elite. I told you I think Kenley Jansen is elite, and that's the only elite closer in the game is Kenley Jansen. But he was able to get the 3 outs that you need, and the Yankees now have this series tied at 2 apiece, and we're going into Game 5, and anything can happen. Keuchel might be able to have a rough start. Maybe he doesn't have a rough start. We'll see. But this Yankee team is not afraid of anything, as you guys can tell. Down 4-0, weren't afraid. Made a bunch of defensive mistakes. Doesn't scare them. It doesn't faze them. They know that they got to pick each other up. They know they got to play baseball. They know they got to do what they got to do. And that's what we saw here today. That's really what we saw. And I don't know. I really don't know what else to say. This game has so much that I want to say, but then it's like, it's one of those things where it does have a lot to say, but then you don't really have much to say, because in the beginning of the game, it was whatever. The beginning of the game wasn't anything special. The Yankees couldn't do anything offensively. Neither could the Astros until the Astros got into that 6th inning. The Yankees couldn't do anything until the 7th inning with Judge's home run, and then that crazy... sorry, guys. My throat's a little, congested, but they couldn't do anything until that 7th and 8th inning, and then when they finally got to the 8th inning, they were able to pull it away, and if the Yankees are going to win tomorrow, they're going to have to find a way to be able to finally hit Keuchel. And how they hit Keuchel, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to tell you guys what they need to do to hit Keuchel. They just got to find a way to hit Keuchel. I mean, once they do that, then the Yankees might have a shot. If the Yankees win this game tomorrow, you got to feel very confident about the Yankees going into game 6 and Game 7 to try to close it out in Houston. It's going to be tough, but you have a chance, because you figure you can at least lose 1 to Verlander. And then in Game 7, anything goes, but they're not going to be able to start Keuchel or Verlander. So that's really going to be the key. If the Yankees can at least get one more win here and not have to go through Verlander for Game 6 in a must-win situation in Houston, then the Yankees might be able to win this series. And this season is starting to feel like it's meant to be for the Yankees. I don't know why. I don't know where this crazy magic seems to come from. Down 2-0, come back against the Indians. Down 2-0 against Houston. Now they're up 2-2, or they're tied 2-2 in the series, and they come back from a 4-0 lead to tie the series up at 2 apiece. So we'll see, guys. But I got to watch the Dodgers and I got to watch the Cubs. That's another reason why I'm kind of just like focusing on this and then focusing on the Dodgers and Cubs game. But the Dodgers and Cubs game, that recap will be out tomorrow. Hopefully the Cubs end up winning this game just to make it a series, because I don't want to see the Dodgers just sweep this series. And I don't think the Dodgers want to sweep this series as well. Currently it's 1-1. And I believe someone hit a home run for the Dodgers. I don't remember who hit the home run for the Dodgers. It was Andre Ethier, actually. That's who hit the home run for the Dodgers. Andre Ethier, now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to be looking at that game. I'll be back with that video later on in the night. And if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment as well. Share this video with all of your friends. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. I will be reviewing the postseason throughout. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be electric. And I can't wait to talk more about it. See you later, guys.